going on, everybody? K to the 2 here with PPL Division 2 Week 5. This is our team builder for the week, and if you guys cannot tell, I got a new microphone, so that's what I'm using right now. It is just a good old Blue Yeti. It's the first time I'm recording using it. I've been using it in call all week, and it sounds amazing. And on top of that, I got a second monitor, so I can do stuff like show you Jim's team right here. Oh, I can do it before having to do it in editing, so I don't have to worry about that. That's the team we're going up against this week, and this is our team. Look at that. Editing magic in real time. That's insanity. I can do that without having OBS on the screen, and it's amazing. Okay, anyway, we are here with our team analysis. And as you can see, we are going up against the Pinecobh Ramblers, coached by Potato Jim. We have played him before. We played him in the Battle Union this past season. And we get to have another go at him. Last time we won, completely different teams, different scenario, different point in the season. So let's go ahead and take a look at what his team is, and it's looking right now to be a pretty scary team, because that's a really good Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and then he has Mega Stoys on top of it. He has Blaziken that completely runs through my team. Miltank is a good thing for Victini. Archeops I don't really have a switch into. Well, I have one switch into it. And Rotom can give me fits. Like, he has a really good team. I was very bamboozled going into this matchup because I did not know exactly what to bring on everything, and I had to narrow it down to what I thought he was going to bring and act accordingly. Zygarde completely runs through my team, so I have to make sure not to let it do that. Also, I can potentially bring Toxic Spikes in order to pressure Mega Stoys, but if he brings Drapion, then he'll be using it to soak them up. But really, outside of that, besides soaking up T-Spikes and Pursuit Trapping Victini, it's not the greatest mod against my team. So that is going to be what we're thinking about going into this team building process. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. First off, now I started with this Victini pretty much. Well, really I started with Keldeo, but we'll get into that next. Victini here. Victini is a cool dude. It is Assault Vest because I decided, you know what, I need to be able to take hits from Sylveon because that's his vest switch into Keldeo. And also on top of that, I can take a hit from Mega Stoys and fire off 2 energy balls and kill it. If it's a special Jirachi, I can take it down. If it's a physical one, it doesn't really have any good coverage to hit Victini anyway. So Victini's good for Jirachi, Sylveon. I have Glaciate for Zygarde, so it'll stop the stop it from getting speed from Dragon Dances if it tries to set up a Dragon Dance in front of me, and also it hits a 4-time super effectively, which is nice. If he decides to kill me, then, well, that's fine. I got off massive damage against it. Against Mega Stoys, having Energy Ball is great. Against Rotom, I can V-Create and roast that. Also, I skipped over Sylveon. V-Create there is the hardest hitting move that Victini has to hit Sylveon, even with only 4 attack investment. If I were to run a special move to hit Sylveon, it would be Psyshock, not doing as much as V-Create. Or Blue Flare, also not doing as much. Especially because I am expecting a more Spadef Sylveon to take on Keldeo. If he happens to be Thick Fat Miltank, I can V-Create it, and then I can hit it with a Focus Blast on the following turn. Do some massive damage to it that way. Blaziken, I don't have anything really to hit Blaziken, however, Focus Blast hits it neutrally, and because of Victory Star, it is 77% accurate. It's not 70, so that's more like Stone Edge rather than Focus Blast. You're going to miss both of them. They're both, yeah, either way. And it doesn't want to come in on a V-Create because V-Create destroys it. Against Drapion, I gotta hope that it doesn't have Pursuit after I click V-Create because then I could just lose Victini. But V-Create does a lot of damage to it. Focus Blast is good for it. Glaciate, I can lower its speed. It all depends on the situation against Drapion. Most of the time, I'm probably just going to switch out. Against Archeops, I get destroyed. Against Quilladin, roasts it. Against Sceptile, really the only thing it can do against me is EQ. And because I am a minus defense nature, it could be kind of bad, but it's going to be okay because I don't expect Sceptile to come, and also I am my team just deals with Sceptile naturally. So that's going to be Victini. Having the minus defense nature over the minus def nature because A, I have Assault Vest, and B, most of his things to hit Victini are going to be special. Or I just don't live a hit from them, like Zygarde. So that's going to be Victini. And we are going to move on to Keldeo here. Keldeo has a very, very, very standard set. And you're going to look at it and be like, Kyle, why aren't you speed creeping anything? And it's pretty much because I wanted to try and catch his Archeops speed creeping my speed creep. So, like, if he brought Archeops that had some level of speed below my 108, like, expecting my Keldeo to just creep his Jirachi, he might be creeping my Keldeo, which is creeping the Jirachi. And so I can take advantage of that. On top of that, didn't really need too much bulk on this team. Or not just on this team, rather. Didn't really need too much bulk on Keldeo because it is just here to do the hittings before it gets hit. And he doesn't have a switch into Scald. Secret Sword bops a lot of his team. And like I said, Sylveon is his only switch in. Life Orb Hydro Pump against a Fizz Def Sylveon is a clean hit 2-hit KO. However, if he is more Spadef, like I said, I have the free switch out into Victini here, and I can do things with that. So, Icy Wind is going to be there for the Zygarde in case I don't want to feel like going for burns, and also Icy Wind just does a ton of damage. Yeah, that's really all I gotta say about Keldeo. Like, you can take a look at his team and see, like, he doesn't have much for it, just inherently. Most teams do not have a lot for Keldeo. So, that's gonna be Keldeo this week. Thanks for sticking around, Keldeo. You're doing a great job this season. Thank you. Next up we have a Scarf Hydreigon, and this has enough speed for a +1 Zygarde. It's another really standard set. I need U-turn in order to gain momentum if his switching is going to be Sylveon. Dual Stab is really nice against his team. He doesn't really have much for the Dual Stab Hydreigon. Again, most teams don't. Dark Pulse is just really nice for Jirachi, against everything really except for Blaziken and Sylveon. I guess Drapion as well. Those are his Dark Resists. I just list them out. Dragon Pulse is nice to pick off the Zygarde even after a Dragon Dance, which is nice. So, as you can see, the first 3 mons on my team have a way to deal with Zygarde. Flash Cannon is there to hit the Sylveon in case that wants to come in. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it's the hardest hitting thing that I could bring on it, and I didn't really want to bring... Well, it's not the hardest hitting. Iron Tail is, but I didn't want to risk missing, and getting off guaranteed damage with Flash Cannon is always very nice. So that's going to be Hydreigon. Again, not really much to say about it. He just doesn't have a whole lot for it, so I can bring something pretty standard on it and get away with it. Now the next mon is going to be it's going to be Serena, and that is an offensive Serena. Now I am creeping a non-speed invested Drapion, and I am max attack adamant. Why? Well, if you take a look at his team, the only thing that really takes this on is Jirachi. I can beat Sylveon because I do a ton of damage to it. Zygarde, it can set up in front of me, but I can Trop Kick it to lower its attack. I can Play Rough it to 2 KO it. I can Synthesis up if I need to. Against Megastoys, I Trop Kick it. I'm likely going to outspeed it because he's probably not going to run enough speed to outspeed a Serena if he brings it. And I am outspeeding non-invested Drapion. So there's kind of a thing there. So Serena can do things against those things, which are the main things I'm expecting. Against Blaziken, can't really do too much, but I can get off a massive hit with Play Rough to not allow him to set up. But the main thing I need this for is to be my check to Zygarde. If I can switch it in as it goes for Dragon Dance, that would be 100% the best thing that could happen. Even with only 60 in HP, I take on Zygarde. Against Zygarde, I can Play Rough it to 2 KO it, or I can Trop Kick it in order to lower its attack. And in the same time, 1,000 Arrows isn't doing a whole lot. The only way he can kill me is if he goes for Outrage, and if he does go for Outrage, that'll take us out. We can go either into Klefki or into Hydreigon, depending on what health he is at, and I will either outspeed a +1 Zygarde with Hydreigon, or he's locked into Outrage and I can 2 KO with Dazzling Gleam on Klefki, which would be amazing. And also with Klefki, then I can get off another Dazzling Gleam if he decides to set up again, or if he decides to risk the confusion, something like that. So Klefki can deal with the Zygarde as well, as long as it's locked into Outrage. We'll get into Klefki in a little bit, though. Serena, I just really like it against his team. Having Spin is also really nice for Victini, because if he gets up rocks, it could pressure my Victini to not really be a switch into Jirachi and Sylveon anymore, and not having a switch into either of them could be pretty detrimental. That's the way I would put that. Either way around it, I'm okay with Serena being the way it is. Doing damage is the way to go, and not allowing the Zygarde to set up, because that could be very, very bad. And you're going to see a theme here. Everything on my team so far has had super effective coverage for Zygarde, and it doesn't stop here with Klefki because I have Dazzling Gleam on that. Spikes plus Keldeo is the way I'm going to win this game. Or at least, that's my plan. It's, this Klefki is meant to get a spike on a Sylveon. If I get in with Keldeo against the Sylveon, so I can come in, get up a bunch of spikes, and wear his team down. His only removal is Megastoys and Archeops, so if he doesn't bring either of them, the spikes are going to be there to stay, and spikes are pretty important because I don't have Stealth Rocks on this team. So being able to pressure him with spikes is going to be amazing. Heal Block is here for the Miltank, and if he is not running Earthquake, he will not be able to Milk Drink up, as I'm able to get up all 3 layers of spikes, which would be huge for his team, against his team, rather. And Heal Block, I just feel like is pretty memey, and it can help out against Wish Protect Sylveon, Wish Protect Jirachi, Miltank can help with Archeops if it has Roost, so I won't allow it to get back out of Defeatist if it ever gets there in the first place. So that's pretty good. And the last move that I have not gone over yet is Foul Play. Foul Play is very nice for Jirachi and Rotom and Archeops. That's pretty much it, but like, Foul Play does a ton to an offensive Jirachi, and if it is Sub Calm Mind variant with 0 attack IVs, Foul Play still breaks the sub against max HP. So that's all I really need to do. I cannot let Jirachi get up a sub against my team either. So Klefki against a non-invested Zygarde, I can 2-hit KO with Dazzling Gleam, so then it won't be able to set up Dragon Dances against me. I'll be 100% okay with that. And really, that's it for Klefki. It's max Fizz Def, just because most of the things that I'm going to be dealing with, other than Sylveon, are physical. And also, like, I can take a 1,000 arrows from a non-boosted Zygarde at that point, so I can be okay and get away with that. Get off a Dazzling Gleam if I need to, and that's going to be it for Klefki. Like I said, Spikes is just amazing. It helps with being a switch into Drapion, because I don't really have another good knockoff switch in that I would really like to switch into a Drapion. So if he does end up getting in a position where he can click knockoff, I can go into Klefki and I'll be fine with not having leftovers. It's just I want to get up Spikes against him. So the last member of the team is the thing that he can't really break. The only thing he has to break it is Jirachi, Zygarde, and Z-move Blaziken. Now, Jirachi would have to be sub Calm Mind, and if it is, that's the one thing that Toxapex would not be able to handle. Zygarde, I 2-KO it with Ice Beam, and I can get off covers as he tries to kill me with 1,000 arrows after a boost, which will not happen. And against Blaziken, it'll be a little bit tougher, but Liquidation is a 2-hit KO, so I will be able to punish him for going for Sword Stance to try and kill us, and I can predict the Graudium Z, go into Hydreigon, and be okay with that. Toxapex just sits in here and kind of walls his team for days. Getting off T-Spikes would be amazing for him. If I can set them up in front of Drapion, unless he has Taunt, which would force something to get poisoned. Or if he doesn't bring Drapion, then he has to bring in Megastoys to get them away, and having Megastoys poisoned would be amazing. And like, I can just 1v1 the Megastoys unless it has, unless it has Rest. And if it does have Rest, I still have things like Victini, which I can come in on arresting Megastoys, click Energy Ball a couple times, or I have Serena as well to hit it with Trop Kick, which is an easy 2-hit KO because I'm offensive. So looking at it, I felt like I had a fairly good team that took on most of his. The only thing that could really be an issue, and I see it happening against my team, is going to be sub spam, because I'm forced out against things like Zygarde, against Jirachi, against Blaziken. If all three of them have sub, like, I probably won't have enough in order to take all of them on. But I feel like sub Jirachi will not be able to carry enough coverage without setup, and if it does have setup, then it's lacking coverage. You know what I mean. Whatever. So like, I can take on Jirachi with Victini, with most of my team, without its sub. So like, yeah, whatever. You guys understand what I'm saying? Probably don't, because I sound like a babbling idiot. Anyway, that's going to be the team for the week, and that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.